So let's talk about most players' least favorite club, the driver, right? The driver is a really hard club to hit straight for a variety of reasons. One, it's very long, so it makes it difficult to hit the center of the face. Two, the face is curved, so it can curve the ball a lot offline because of that curve to the face when I'm not hitting the center. And then three, it can impart a lot of curve on the golf ball because there's very little loft. So it's a very difficult club to hit straight. And we start talking about like what straight would be or what acceptable would be. Remember, we're talking about a 60 to 70 yard wide shot pattern, right? That would be an acceptable range. That's the best players in the world are hitting it within that range. So when we start talking about why players struggle with the driver, most of it has to do with the route that they're choosing to swing into the golf ball. So what I see on a daily basis is players are taking the club too far to the inside, getting the face too open. They're getting to the top of the swing by lifting the arms, and then they're spinning out very early and coming over the top. For some better players, they're getting to the top of the swing, spinning out early by turning the shoulders open too soon, steepening the shaft, and then kind of sucking the hips in or early extending to get the club behind them. Face gets open, club gets too far from the inside, and then we're hitting too much draw and too much push. So what we want to feel with the driver is we need to get a sensation of kind of an early left shift, right, to kind of push off of to get our arms and body to sequence better. So we're not pulling with the right arm too early and not using the torso or the pelvis enough to start the golf swing. So what I like to teach players to do is I like to teach them to trigger the club forward to start the swing. And as that club is still swinging forward, they're starting to pull it back. And in doing that, the way they can get that club to move back is they have to start going this way to move the club properly, as opposed to this way or this way. So you rock it forward and swing it back. So now I've got a ton of rotation in my torso and my shoulders, which is going to get the club way around the body, right? Without getting it too far here or too far here. So we're in a pretty good spot at the top. Once we get into that position at the top of the swing, then we need to feel like we're moving left without really turning a lot. Now, again, at full speed, the body's going to be turning a ton. But if I just delay it for just a fraction of a second at the top of the backswing, so I get up here, start moving left, that's the movement that kind of gets the shaft flattening a little bit instead of steepening. I would say the number one issue that I see with players with a driver is applying too much force with the right side at the top of the swing, either by turning too soon or just using the right arm too soon to try to get this club face to square and close, and that shaft is steepening. If you get to the top and you lower it, even if the face is a little bit open, you're going to have a lot more time to square that club face and it'll straighten it out. You might start off by hitting some blocks with that feel and you can adjust the face as you swing through, but it's so important to get up here and get the shaft moving this way very early in the downswing, probably way more than you would even realize. So again, we get into our setup here, we kind of rock the club forward, swing it back, and then move into our left. This right here would be a great little drill to do to try to feel the hips go this way as the club is swinging around the body and more from inside the target line. So from this angle, rock it forward, swing it back, and lower the shaft. So just practicing that movement to get the club from inside the target line. Eventually, we can then make slow rehearsal swings. And when applying the golf ball, that's where I would start. Because if you try to go full speed at this and you're an over the top or a steep player, that's going to happen. So you'd want to swing, I don't know, somewhere in the range of like 60% at this to work on that initial feel. So with the ball there, we're going to still rock forward, but not let the club go. So rock forward, drop it to the inside. So now I'm getting the club moving more this way from the top, where my arms are dropping the club to the inside. And then I just have to try to manage the club face as I come in. As I get better at dropping it, like I said, the club face may square up on its own. There may be some feels that we need to have if we're starting to roll the face too open early in the backswing or cupping the wrist too much from the top of the swing. But today I wanted to talk a lot about just getting the body and the arm sequencing correctly so that you can swing the club more from inside the target line. So rock it forward, swing it back, drop the arms. And then doing it at a rate where I can then get that feel on the golf ball. And I would start slow and add speed. If you need help or a visual, you can take an alignment stick, place it outside the golf ball, angled slightly to the right, and now I can get a feel where I'm getting that club more to the inside and swinging out to the right of the target.